Colby Covington versus Ian Garry is the perfect fight to make for both fighters. To start off, this fight should take place at UFC 303, where McGregor will be taking on Michael Chandler. It makes so much sense. You have Team America with Michael Chandler and Colby Covington taking on Team Ireland with Conor McGregor and Ian Garry. I think it also helps that, Conor McGregor and Ian Garry are both very proud to be Irish. Likewise for Chandler and Colby, loving the fact that they're very American, they're very patriotic. They're always on about, they're always showing how cringy and cheesy they are when it comes to loving America. I think this is perfect to be on that card. Ian Garry and Colby Covington are somewhat big names as well. Obviously, Colby Covington being a bigger name than Ian Garry. And again, this just adds to a McGregor card. McGregor cards are quite known for being quite stinky. Whereas this is a really good co-main. At the moment, it looks like it's going to be Jamal Hill versus Khalil Roundtree. And I think that's a very solid fight. But I feel like you could get a much better co-main between Ian Garry and Colby Covington. Now, we also have to mention how both of these fighters want this fight. That should make the contracts much easier to sign for both of them, and it should make it easier for Dana White and the UFC to make this fight happen. When we'll get it, I don't know. Like I said, UFC 303 is the perfect time for it, but whether we'll get it then, I honestly have no idea. But this fight needs to happen. It's a perfect timing for it. You have Ian Garry, who's still undefeated, looks very impressive in his fights. Against Jeff Neal, it was a bit boring. He played it very safe, but I don't really blame him. He wasn't able to have that star performance like he was against Neil Magny and Rodriguez. He wasn't able to capture that against Jeff Neal, but he still managed to get the W, and Jeff Neal's a great name to have on your resume. And then we have Colby Covington. He looked awful against Leon Edwards. The last win he got was against a retired Jorge Masvidal, and even in that fight, he got dropped. And against Leon Edwards, it seemed like Colby Covington didn't even show up. Usually Colby's straight out the gates. He's on the front foot. He's putting on the gas. He's chasing you down, trying to get your takedown. He's relentless with his takedown attempts. He's putting so much pressure on you with his great cardio and he's sloppy striking, let's be honest now. And he'll try to overwhelm his opponent. And we didn't get that against Leon Edwards. He was straight away on the back foot. And he was very content with standing up against Leon when Leon was just picking him apart. It was a very boring fight. Leon was able to out-grapple Colby at times. The only time Colby won a round was in the last round, when again it felt like Leon just kind of gave that round away because again he was trying to prove a point that he could out-grapple Colby. And in that round, Colby was able to out-grapple Leon Edwards. And now Colby's kind of in a shit place. He's 0-3 in title fights. He lost 2 fights to Kamaru Usman. Whether he thought he won the second fight is a completely different story. He's still 0-3. And then he got dominated by Leon Edwards. And now it's just kind of like he's got no aura about him. Building into the Leon fight, he's like, oh, well, stylistically, he might be able to create some problems for Leon. But he wasn't able to do that, and he's getting much older now. His stick's getting quite old, he's all, oh yeah, they're patriotic, playing this character. It's getting rather old now, but he can use that against Ian Garry because Ian Garry's not a fan favourite. A lot of people are against Ian Garry right now, calling him a cook, just loads of memes against him, all sorts at the moment. And Colby could be a fan favourite against Ian Garry, given how the things play out. Ian Garry was meant to meet Colby Covington in the press conference, but he had to pull out of his fight against Vicente Luque, so we weren't able to see a verbal exchange between the two. However, these two will have a massive verbal exchange if you give them the opportunity to, especially at a press conference. It'll be absolutely berserk. Again, imagine a press conference of Conor McGregor against Michael Chandler and Colby Covington against Ian Garry. That would do so many views and would generate so much buzz going into the fight. It would be stupid not to make this fight. And again, I feel like if Colby didn't show up shit against Leon Edwards, a lot of people would straight up say, oh, Colby Covington walks through Ian Garry. We haven't really seen Ian Garry against a grappler. We've only seen him against Neil Magny, but Neil Magny is just kind of a gatekeeper at welterweight. A very good gatekeeper, don't get me wrong, but not to the quality of Colby Covington's grappling, you know what I mean? But this will be an interesting fight. And it adds to it, you know. Will Ian Garry be able to keep it on the feet, use his great footwork, piece up Colby Covington? And if he was able to beat Colby Covington, you could put him straight into the title picture. He would grow a bigger audience because Colby Covington is a bigger name now. And it would be great. And then if Colby Covington was able to beat Ian Garry, I'd argue he's another win away from getting a title shot. But it just makes me wonder, would Ian Garry win this fight? Because Colby Covington, again, I think he is on the decline. I don't know if I'd favour Colby Covington to win this fight. I think Ian Garry would win this fight if they both met. But it needs to happen soon. Like I said, it's perfect timing. I don't want Ian Garry sitting out on the sidelines doing fuck all. He's been a very active fighter, and I want that to remain the case. And hopefully, Colby Covington isn't going to stop that from being the case, and we can see these two in the octagon very soon. But what do you guys think? Do you think Ian Garry should fight Colby Covington next? Or do you think both fighters should fight other fighters instead of one another? Let me know in the comments below. If you have enjoyed the video, maybe leave a like on the video as it helps me out a lot. And maybe consider subscribing to my channel where I talk about more MMA and boxing. Thank you for watching the video, and I'll see you next time.